Hello, welcome to Retro Rewind. Yes, we're in the bedroom because they're doing some kind of thing in one of the apartments on my floor and they're noisy, so I don't want to sit there and, you know, get noise all the time. I'm thinking about putting a poster here because it's a blank ass wall. Put a poster here. That way, when I do have to do reviews or things in here, this will be, have something in the background, But for Retro Rewind, we are talking about Mystery Weekend, which is an episode of Saved by the Bell from season 3. This is the season 3 and 4 DVD, but in actuality, is actually just season 3, I think. I don't know. These DVDs are weird. They got season 1 and 2, and it's like season 1, and they added the episodes. If you don't know, there were some episodes from season 1 that weren't aired originally, and they were aired within the final season. Some from season 2 as well. So they just sort of put those on there, and it might be season 2 and 3. I'm not sure where the cutoff is. I'm pretty sure the Fabulous Belding Boys is the beginning of season 3, so I think this is all season 3. Yeah, the only disc on here that says season 4 is the last disc. It doesn't make any sense. And then season 5 is technically just season 4. And if they wanted to do season, they don't have the Good Morning Miss Bliss on his DVDs, which is meh. Anyway, but Mystery Weekend is an episode that is very different from normal episodes. There's no Bayside, there's no Belding. It's a mystery thing, kind of like Clue, so to speak. Zach and his friends, if you don't know, they're Zach, Slater, Screech, Lisa, Jesse, and Kelly. They're all going to this Mystery Weekend that Lisa has won for them. Apparently, and they're going to solve a murder mystery, and things get off to a start. They get there, and they're all just sort of meeting everyone that's there when the piano player, quote unquote, dies. Although we never see him again, so it's really weird. But he dies, and So, so we're trying to figure, they're trying to figure out, who could have done it? Well, the maid was sitting next to him and served a drink, but, hers was spilled on Jesse because Jesse was sitting next to the piano player and he got flirty, and the maid is supposedly with the piano player, so she got mad and she spilled the drink. So that didn't work. Then they're like, but who served the drink? It was the drink that the piano player drink was meant for Jameson, who is the guy running this place, played by the guy from Square One Television. I used to watch that show a lot when I was a kid. That's cool show. But yeah, he was on there. Excuse me. Phlegm in me throat. So Jameson was the intended target. Well, who served the drink? The butler. And just as Zach is about to announce it was the butler, he announces it's the butler, and the butler comes out dead. And rewatching this thing, and I'm like, that's too convenient. The butler did it. No, the butler just died. Yeah, it seemed, I don't know, it's a little bit too convenient. But, so they call in an inspector, who's not really an inspector, it's an actor, of course. Although we never see the inspector guy again, so it's really weird. Him and the, I'm saying we've seen Jameson and the butler again, but we don't see the inspector again or the piano player again. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But the inspector is there, and he's looking around. He looks at Screech, judging him as a murderer, but Screech couldn't hurt a fly. I don't think so anyway. But just as he's about to reveal the killer, he's taken out with a bunch of arrows to the back. But then the old lady's necklace goes missing. And Jameson's like, well, that wasn't part of the script. And he believes that he's like, oh, this is real, you know, this is the real, what happened is real. It's been actually stolen. So he's called it off. They're going to send everyone home. And I'm confused. They're all concerned that there's a real killer out there. The inspector dying was scripted. The only thing that wasn't... All the deaths that we've seen so far, the piano player, the butler, and the inspector, are fake. They're scripted. The only thing that wasn't scripted, so to speak, supposedly, was the necklace being stolen. So I don't know why everyone's all concerned about, like, oh my god, there's a murderer. No. There's a thief, but not a murderer. So Jameson tells Zach and Lisa, just them by themselves, mind you. Everyone else has walked out of the room. He says, I got some free vouchers for you. Just come by and get them. And so everyone's packing stuff. And everyone else goes to leave. So Zach has got to pack a suitcase. Lisa goes, I'll pack your suitcase. Go get the vouchers. So Zach leaves. He locks the door behind him so that she'll be safe. Because she's nervous, I guess. Which, when you find out what's going on with Lisa, you kind of get it. But he goes down and gets the vouchers that he finds. He goes to Jameson's office. Jameson's office is in disarray. Everything's been thrown around, saying that the thief must have gone through looking for the prize money. Jameson hands him the voucher, and then the lights go out. He screams, and he's gone. So where is he? It's a mystery, right? Just then, the rest of the people walk in and like, hey, what are you doing in here? He's like, oh, Jameson was giving us free vouchers. And the mate's like, we? Or, free? I think not. Jameson is so cheap, he takes his towels from the hotel. And he's like, we're here. And they open it and it's the prize money. They say it's money, but I'm guessing that's supposed to be the prize money. And so Zach is suspect number one. And again, the others are concerned that he's a killer. No one has died. All the deaths were scripted. Like, the inspector, the medium says, I'm calling the real police. So that means that guy is not really dead. The inspector, the butler, and the piano player were all scripted. They're not dead. I don't know why everyone's so afraid that Zach is a murderer. No one has died. It's confusing. It's very confusing. I like this episode. It's fun to watch, but there's some things that don't make sense. Why? Even like they're like, everyone's staying in the room. Oh yeah, Screech's like, oh yeah, leave me with a murderer, and I'm like, no, no one has been killed. What? The 3 deaths we have seen, I need to keep reiterating this. The 3 deaths we have seen were all scripted. That's it. Because they go back up to the, oh, Lisa will tell you. They go back up there. Lisa's gone, but the door was locked from the outside. So where's Lisa? The windows are also locked, as they show you. So, Zach, Screech, Slater are left behind. And they have to figure out how Lisa got out. Well, Screech comes upon a secret passageway. Oh yeah, I'm just going to turn this candle and it'll open. Open. And they go through it. It takes them to Jameson's office. Jameson's office is like, I'm assuming that is it one floor Or do they have to climb down? I guess the backstage passages can go from top to bottom. Who knows? Who knows? But they get in Jameson's office, which is no longer in disarray, which means somebody cleaned up in there between when the people walked in and when they questioned Zach out in the piano room. But there's only like 3 sets in this. There's Jameson's office, the piano room, and the foyer. Oh, there's the kitchen, the dining room. But I feel like the foyer and the piano room are kind of connected, and then there's the dining room, and then there's the guy's bedroom. So there's 4 or 5 sets. But so they get to Jameson's office, even though he tells Screech to turn the lights back off, he doesn't. And they're looking around, and they find a drink, 2 drinks. One of them has lipstick on it, and there's also a cigarette with lipstick on it. And we were shown earlier that Jameson smoked cigarettes, and the drink is a mango tonic with a kiwi twist, which is something that Lisa drank or did not drink earlier. She said she just wanted to hold it to look cool or whatever. So Zach starts to realize that maybe the game is not over. He's like, call everyone to the piano room, basically. And so these police people have shown up at some point. One of them is a woman that's obviously a man. If you're fooled by this woman, and then there's another inspector who's got a mustache and stuff. And I should mention that Screech made a remark earlier when he was trying to point out the killer that it was the butler. And they were going to point out that it was the butler. But then he was killed. Which was, if you remember, fake. No one has died. Jameson has disappeared, but no one has died. Okay? So, Zach gets in there and he points out Lisa's hiding in a secret passageway. So she's been in on it from the beginning. I'm assuming when she won, Jameson talked to her and told her, hey, I want you to be in on this. She planted the necklace and the watch on Zach because the necklace was in the... If you really pay attention, like, she's left alone in the room. So she could be the only one that left the necklace in his bag, and then the watch was on him. She must have planted it at some point. Or the guy, the inspector guy, because he's in on it too, hid it in there. But, then he points out, they're like, so there's, whoever she was drinking with is the killer. And it's like, oh, but there's lipstick on it, so it's a woman. Well, the killer wanted you to think that. And pulls the wig off, the obviously woman, and it's Jameson. Jameson was the killer. But he couldn't have been working alone. Because they're like, Screecher's like, oh, but we're not done yet. And Slater's like, well, actually, yeah, there's nothing left. And Zach is like, actually, not. You see, Jameson couldn't have done things on his own. He couldn't have turned the lights off, killed the inspector, the fake inspector, and rigged the battle axe at the same time. He'd have an accomplice. And Screecher's right, the butler did it. Takes up his mustache. You ring, so? So yes, it was the butler and Jameson that were the quote-unquote killers. No one died, and it still confuses me as why they think Zach is a killer. No one actually had died. Everything was set up, although we do never seen the fake inspector and the piano player again, but I'm assuming they're just somewhere else, I guess. Because I mentioned the butler and Jameson reintegrate as new characters, inspectors, detectives, whatever. They come in. So, and I, watching this back now, how did they not know it was Jameson in the wig? I mean, come on. Other than, he had a mustache, a fake mustache on. I recognize it. I'm like, maybe as a kid I didn't recognize it, but like now I'm like, yeah, it's clearly a dude. Even if I don't know it's Jameson, it's got to be a dude. Even when he talks, what are you talking about, Zach? It's like, there's obviously some kind of deep bravado in there, but yeah, this is a fun episode to watch. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a fun episode. It's one of the better ones, I think. There's just a lot that doesn't make any sense with every TV show or movie. There's always something that doesn't make sense, but it's a fun watch. So, what are your thoughts on the Say Bye About Mystery Weekend episode? Leave me in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.